deal with our problems. Yes, we can deal with our issues. And I have more people who love me to support me. It's not an either or, it's an and. And so this is a reason why I really want stepfamilies and stepmoms to help build a strong and healthy relationship, not only with their spouses, but with their stepkids, so that when these kids grow up, they know what they can do to create their own healthy and strong relationship in their turn.
And I just think that's brilliant, Claudette, because families aren't all about rosy and getting along and you keep quiet and you don't say anything. Families, do have arguments, and children especially, because it's part of my business in the emotional healing, they need to learn how to express their negative emotions in a healthy way so that they can understand that it's human to feel angry, cross, upset, etc.
Yeah.
To express that in a healthy way. And so they can see now from a step family, yes, it's been, it might be a trauma because of a divorce or a death in the family. So they can see that coming over that trauma, actually life can be good again. And you are allowed to be, happy again. It is okay to, perhaps accept this woman into your life, or, I'm thinking from the child's point of view here, that they may not think that that's okay, but I think that's a brilliant message, so children can learn that stuff does happen in life. Stuff is not a bed of roses, and I haven't met a family yet that is a bed of roses, to be honest.
No, exactly.
There's always stuff going on. It's just, I guess, it's just how public you make it, or if you really want to do something about it. I mean, I think that's the key. There's so many of us, just hope and that it just goes away and somehow rectifies itself. But unfortunately, it doesn't. You actually have to do something about it. So I think that's a wonderful message for the children, because it's, they grow up, they will grow up, with such knowledge, strong in their own minds.
And the thing is, it's a strong message for the children, but for other people, for other stepmoms who are going through this, for other couples, for other people who are wondering, well, is it worth re-engaging or reinvesting myself in another relationship? And for me, my answer would be yes, because we're meant to be in relationship with other people. We're not meant to live our lives on our own.
Yeah, I mean, it's in our DNA, isn't it? I mean, the human connection is actually in our DNA, which is why relationships are so important. I mean, most of us actually choose to live in communities. If you look at how the world is dispersed, we all live in kind of colonies and tribes and villages and towns and cities. We all congregate together, don't we?
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
Not everybody, but we do. As a whole, human beings are designed to connect. So yeah, it is so important. And I think I mentioned in my when I opened up the show today, we are in a real world of disconnect. We really are on many levels, yet on other levels we're so connected, because there's you and I here across the airwaves. There's we can connect all over the world. Yet we a lot of us have lost this real sense of, belonging and appreciation. So it's,
I think the key word you just said is belonging. Mm-hmm. I mean, we can be connected, but we may not necessarily have the sense of belonging. And that is super important, to have that sense of belonging and to create it and find it and to define it for ourselves. What does it mean for me to belong to someone or to something?
I totally agree. It's a big part of my work. When I work with women with very low self-esteem and low self-worth, they have no sense of purpose or no sense of being appreciated or valued or why they're here. We want to be part of a community. We want to feel that we should be here and that people want us to be here. We want to be... I don't like that word need, because I used to... The relationship I had with my mother was very destructive, and I came from a really, really needy place. So I tend not to use that word need now. I tend to, help people that we rely on ourselves. And so when we're filled up, we have so much more, to give, and that's how our lives become happier. So it's a fantastic message that you're getting out there. Is there just a tip right now, Claudette, that you could give someone who's really struggling, where they should be in that role? What could they do right now?
So the first thing they can do right now is take care of themselves, right? A lot of times when we're exhausted, tired, overwhelmed, we can't think straight.
Yeah.
So the first thing I would say is take care of yourself, your needs, your wants, and understand who you are as an individual, and make sure that you are in a healthy place in order to be able to help others or to be in a relationship.
So there's a lot of self-care primarily.
Yes.
And I think that's with, across the board with everything in life. And we're not brought up really to do that. We're brought up to care, particularly women, to care for others first, aren't we?
Yes.
And so I still have now. In fact, I had a gentleman in this afternoon, and he just said, I cannot put myself first. It is so selfish. It can be very difficult for people to get their head around. But when we are continually looking after other people, we are still trying to get our own needs met. And so we have a secondary gain, a subconscious gain of taking something from that person, wanting them to like us, praise us. Okay, Claudette, can stepmoms really find that happiness in their stepfamily? Is it really possible to find that, even with, they've got a lot going against them, with the children not accepting them, and perhaps the mum, their real mum, being very difficult if she's still around? Is it really possible to find that happiness in their new family?
I believe we can. And I think the first thing we have to do is define happiness for yourself, right? We all see happiness for ourselves differently. So for some, it could be like, and we have to be realistic, right? Happiness isn't a 24/7 type of emotion. Happiness or moments in time, as I said before. And so look for those moments of happiness and define what happy means to you, and share it with your partner, your spouse. Have a vision of what that would look like. And a lot of times, one of the things I've seen with a lot of stepmoms I've worked with is they have no vision. They have no idea what being happy and being in a fulfilling relationship looks like. And so I have them write down what being happy or being the type of family they want, what does that look like? And put it at somewhere where you can see it, whether in your journal, in your mirror where you look in the morning, and look at this. Okay. How can I achieve happiness today? How can I do some of the things what are some of the things I need to do to get to being happy? It's a sense of, taking control over your life. And if you have a sense that you have no control, you're not going to feel happy. And so, one of the things that I believe why we can be happy is, like, I've seen stepmoms come to me and say, I was on the verge of divorce. I was coming to you just so I can figure out a way how I can stay connected with my stepkids. I wasn't planning on staying with my husband anymore. We weren't together. And so once we started, working together, and I helped her define, like, what does your relationship look like? She says, well, it doesn't look at all what it's now. And so once we started creating, like, what it could look like and have the steps to get there, she started feeling better. She started to feel like she had some control. She started to see moments of happiness and joy. And part of that was she took care of herself. And in most cases, the stepmoms who came to me have stopped taking care of themselves, have stopped doing things they enjoy. And so our lives are three-dimensional. We're not just stepmoms. We're not just moms. We're not just wives. We're a whole lot of different things. So when you stop seeing your friends, when you stop going to the gym because you feel you have no more time, once you stop doing your hobbies, reading or quilting or whatever hobby you enjoy doing, when you stop doing all those things, they take away your joy, your happiness in your life. And so once you start taking care of yourself and you focus on having a strong relationship with your spouse partner, then you do find those moments of joy. And that is how I see stepmoms being happy within their relationship. It's not being perfect. It's being happy.
Yeah, and being happy isn't perfect. And I love the way you've put all that together with the self-care, with looking after yourself, first. And it really is those moments of happiness, isn't it? Those moments that we string together. And that's what creates, happiness. And as you say, happiness is different for all of us. And we've got to work that out. And isn't it amazing that so many people can tell you what's wrong in life and what they don't like and all the negative stuff, but so few of us, we know what we really want. And that's why, myself as well, I come across this very regularly. People can't see it. People can't visualize it. People don't really know what they want. I think that's the biggest part of it. Other than, don't you hear all the time, I want to be happy, I don't want to be stressed, I just want a nice life.
But that's not reality.
No.
And the thing is, in order to know what happiness is, you also need moments of sadness. Otherwise, you would not be able to recognize the happiness without those other moments in your life.
Absolutely. I mean, like happiness and like love, they're paradoxes. That everything's a contrast. It's a bit like you wouldn't know hot if you hadn't felt cold. You wouldn't know night if you hadn't seen day. You wouldn't know love, true, complete love, if you hadn't felt loss. So, yes. And I think that's the same for happiness. And it's allowing that sadness. Like we said earlier, you are allowed to feel sad. You're not supposed to feel happy all the time. And stuff happens. But I think it's knowing how to deal with that, express it, and get over it. So I think there's a big message that you've got across here, Claudette, of really, really caring for yourself first before you try and, get into this role that you think you should be this kind of person.
Definitely. I mean, and this would be for any relationship. If you are not taking care of yourself, you're actually, sucking the energy out of other people to take care of you. And that's not sustainable. One of the things I see often is husbands saying about their wives is, you're not the woman I married. You're so needy. You're so, I married this super independent, vibrant, excited, happy wife. What happened to her? And a lot of times stepmoms say, I got lost in trying to please everybody in the family. And that is a catch-22, right? You're trying to please everybody and you lose yourself.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I met my husband when I was 20, and we've been together 32 years, and I am definitely not the person he met. I can assure you, I was young, innocent, clueless. And, in a lot of these things, you really don't know if it's going to make it for the long haul, because so much stuff happens, you just don't really know. There's some luck involved there, although I don't really believe in luck, but you know what I mean? I am nowhere near that 20-year-old by any stretch of the imagination. And so
which is a good thing, right?
Yeah, no, it is a good thing, or I'd be a totally irresponsible woman at this age, and it would really be inappropriate to be behaving like that. But yeah, we're not... We do change and we do evolve, and it's embracing that change. I know Richard Gere says, we should always embrace, who we are, whatever age, because we never know. You're not guaranteed that next moment in life, and it's a privilege.
Yeah, exactly.
To be there. So, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, that how we perceive relationships and how we think we should be behaving. And there's so much around expectation, the expectation of that stepmom's role, the expectation of those children, the